Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday here to Intro to Programming. We are going to continue in Khan Academy in JavaScript. And as I said yesterday, there's no Zoom today. We will have one tomorrow at 11. We'll talk about a few things and just kind of check in. Today will be a light day. You're going to work in Khan Academy. There's a couple things I want you to do. There is, please join the Remind. You'll see instructions on the home page on how to join Remind. Please do that. Then I can text you a little bit easier. You'll see a link on our website. That's one. First off, second off. So if you've not already done so in Khan Academy, go make sure your name is here. If it's not, you can go to settings and change it, because that's what I see. So when you go into settings, you'll see username or full name or something like that. Please change it to your name. There's 6 or so students, and it's a lot harder for me to grade. I have to look up your ID each time. So please change that if you have not already done so. All right. So hopefully yesterday, the intro to Khan Academy, drawing ellipses, went fine. Today we're going to add a little bit. We're going to add 2 things. Okay, you're going to do 2 sections. The one about coloring and then about variables, both of which should be real familiar from your time in App Lab. I'm going to say that a lot, I imagine. So to use colors, and you can always see this. I mean, there's the videos will explain it as well. But if you go into the documentation, we can see, oh, colors. These are all the commands I can call, and they're the same commands you would have done before, but without dragging the blocks over. So background, RGB, and we'll talk about what that means in a second. No fill, turn off fill for shapes. Okay, stroke weight. Stroke is known as stroke is like the outline of a shape. Okay, that's called the stroke in computer programming. So we can set how thick we want that outline to be, and we can set the color. Oops, hit the wrong thing. We can set the color. We can also turn it off. We could say no stroke, turn off outlines. All right. Well, it's about blending colors together. That sounds kind of interesting, but I've never done that. All right. And remember, it was the amount of red, the amount of green, the amount of blue. Okay, so RGB. That's a very common way in computers to specify a color, and it's the amount of red, green, and blue, RGB. And it's a value between 0 and 255, an integer value from 0 to 255 for each of them. So if you put 255, that would be saying I want all red, a little bit of blue, and half of green. Right? And because the all red is so strong, that took over. So 255.00 is the color red. All right. So you can do it manually. So that's the most. And for you math people out here, you have 256 options for this, 256 options for this, 256 options for this. So 256 times 256 times 256 is 16 million. So there's 16 million different colors that computers can show. All right, and the nice thing about Khan here is it has the built-in color picker, so you don't have to guess. So this is mostly blue with a hint of red in it. I know it looks real blue, but there's just a hint of red. All right. Now, then I say fill. This is the ground. And notice this is a comment. We haven't talked about this before, but it turns green if it's a comment. You put 2 slashes. So, all right, the ground. Right now, the ground is red. I don't really like that. I could make the ground white, or I could make it whatever color I want. It's kind of interesting. Pure white is 255, 255, 255. Red is all on, green is all on, and blue is all on. It makes the color white. All All right, and I don't like having the stroke, the background to my rectangle at the bottom, right? So I can say no stroke. All right, no stroke is not, maybe meant to. Oh, they're telling me I forgot to capitalize the S. So I know we had a lot of trouble with this in App Lab. Capitalization matters intensely. So no stroke, but maybe I want the stroke on for the snowman. I feel like that looks better here. So let's see. The opposite of no stroke looks to be, well, I could choose. I guess I can say the thickness that I want. So stroke weight. Let's make it 1. Oh, I didn't like that. Nope. So maybe I have to specify a color for the stroke. Maybe no stroke makes it invisible. So let's try stroke. Oh, yep, there it is. I made it. So you can see I can play around with it. The documentation really helps, and the videos will explain a lot of these things too. So I like that a little bit better. That looks nice. All right, let's talk about variables, the next section. So I want you doing both these sections. I don't think it'll take long. So in variables, you're going to see, and you'll read through the videos for it, but it's just like we did in Block Editor, because App Lab's Block Editor really is JavaScript. So we have our variables, var y, var size. Notice we say var here, and then we use them, right? But we don't say variable anymore. You only say it once. All right. So this should look totally familiar. We could do y equals y plus 12. We could do anything we want. It's exactly the same thing that we did with App Lab. And obviously, variables are huge. Not so much in this drawing program, although they try to make it make sense. But when we get to games and we get to real programming, variables are everywhere. All right. So I want you to do those 2 sections. And then fill out the form, also the remind, and tell me, I'm going to ask you a couple questions on how this is going. All right, let's talk tomorrow on Thursday.